Alright everyone, setup is complete. We are ready for Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster by HabKeineName. Let's get this run started and let's get those name donations in. This is your last call to get those name donations in, by the way. You have like 30 seconds probably for the first name. HabKeineName, it's all yours.
Well. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, everything in between. And welcome to the next round of the SpeedCon. I'm HabKeineName, your local nameless German dude. And yeah, I'll be running Final Fantasy 1 today. The Pixel Remaster version. And we'll hope we'll have a good fun. We hope we'll, not have the most terrible early game and most terrible final boss of ever. Even though that is gonna be very hard to top the current worst that ever happened. And yeah, naming incentive sadly didn't go too well apparently, but I guess we have to close it right now. And I'll guess I would just have to make something up on the spot to fill the blanks.
We do have one name though, donate to STC.
STC.
Yeah, STC. All of STC being uppercase.
Alrighty. You know what? We'll just go by suggested names. So we have Kelly, Loris, actually I don't
is
like
donate to STC too long?
Oh, donate to. Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
Perfect.
Apps! Alright, it's gonna be looking very weird next to whatever we're getting here. Frank and Morgan, sure. And Corit. Guess we'll take that. Usually I like to fill my name slots with memes, but coming up with one on the spot that is just with 3 text boxes would have been a drag right now, but whatever. It's always sad when incentives don't get used fully. So, I guess we'd say we'll start the run in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck and fun. And goodbye, I'll take a toilet break. Welcome to the early game of Final Fantasy 1. We'll have a 3-minute unskippable cutscene, followed by 2 minutes of gameplay, followed by another minute cutscene, followed by 30-second gameplay, followed by another 2-minute cutscene. Running this game is fun, especially with how reset heavy the early game is. But after you get, out of the first city, or rather out of the second city, usually the runs get better. We'll just be chilling for a moment because there's nothing we can do, sadly. Square Enix, if any Square Enix staff is looking here, please give us a patch that skips the cutscene. Please! So yeah, not much to tell about it. Party composition I could explain already. We started the run with a warrior, a monk, and 2 black mages. We're not going to be playing with any healers because, to be fair, healers are nice, but if you just do enough damage, why would you need heals? And for everything else, we still got potions, and we will buy a ton of those. And, yeah. I'll hope that everything goes right. Also, I actually was wrong. The intro isn't 3 minutes. It's like 1:50, 1:60. But still, long intro cutscene that no one really likes. So yeah, as we're starting the game, we're gonna start immediately by going into the city, doing a little bit of shopping, buying some equipment, removing the equipment on our monk, because monks are stronger with their fists. And so we just want whatever he has on his hands gone afterwards. And then we're just gonna buy the first few spells for the mages and move to the castle then, where we will get our first assignment as the heroes that just got here. So yeah, we're gonna buy a rapier, not 2 of them. Only 1 is enough. I'm gonna move over to the armor shop and buy a chainmail, so that our warrior can actually deal some damage and take some damage. We're gonna optimize him. We're gonna remove everything on the monk because the armor isn't very good. And we're gonna buy Thunder twice. One for every black mage. Now we hope we get past this guard before he walks to the right, which we did. And hey, fun fact about the pixel remasters of the Final Fantasy games. As you might see me right now, I'm not actually spamming X, as most games would usually do to progress the dialogue. I'm spinning my analog stick. Because, funnily enough, or nicely enough, the analog sticks during cutscenes just counts as an X input. So, instead of just having to mash the same button a bunch of time and, you know, hurting my fingers in the process, I can just do spinny motions, which are a lot nicer on the hand. So, yay for that. Alright, so, first task we got, the princess got abducted by the evil ex-commander of the guard, Garland. And, yeah, we're off to go and save her, because that's what heroes do. Got an okay encounter at the start, did not get a second encounter until the boss. We didn't get really damaged much, which is good, because damage is our biggest problem. For any run that goes up against any good times, any death in the early game will basically cause a reset. We'll be able to salvage this, for us it just means longer grinding segments. And oh my god, first bosses, they are so scary and dangerous, and they're gone. One attack on the warrior, which is good enough. Which doesn't deal too much damage. And I already saw a good HP roll. Okay, that is a very nice start. So to explain a few things about the mechanics. So first of all, there is a reason for the order that we have the party into. The reason for that is targeting. When an enemy uses a single target attack, it actually has a 50% chance to attack the topmost character, which for us is the warrior, because he's the tankiest. A 25% chance to hit the character in the second slot, which for us is the monk, and then a 12.5% each for the third and fourth character. Our mages are very squishy, so we like them to be in the back, so they are less likely to get hit. While the characters that actually, you know, can take a lot more damage are standing in the front, are more likely to get the hits. Then I also just talked about good HP rolls. So on every level up, there is a certain percent chance that you get a good HP up. So HP are random. There are some fixed levels where you will always get a good HP upgrade, and for every other level there's just a percent chance that you get one. I just saw on one of my black mages, he already went to 50 HP, so from the level up that he got an extra 25 HP. The first guaranteed good level up for the black mages is on level 4. We are not level 4 yet, so we already have one good roll, which is very important because, you know, the black mages are very, very squishy, and the less squishy they are, the faster. The earlier they are less squishy, the better, because deaths are very, very annoying in this game, because deaths are expensive. Phoenix Downs are hard to come by and cost a bunch of money, and the local churches that revive people are almost as bad. I think, if I remember correctly, Phoenix Down is 500 gil in this game. And most churches will charge anywhere between 50 to 400 gil for a single revival as well. And that's just the kind of money that we don't really want to spend. And here we have the last long cutscene of the early game. The last break for me before we're having the rest of the run in full suspension, as we're having the intro, the famous intro of Final Fantasy 1. And so, their quest began. As the 4 warriors of light, they felt overwhelmed by the great task destiny had placed before them. They did not even know the true significance of the 4 crystals they held in their hands. The crystals that once, long ago, held a light that shone so brilliantly. The time for their journey had come. The time to cast off the veil of darkness and bring the world once more into light.
That was beautiful.
Thank you very much. So yeah, with the intro out of the way, we're now coming into the first major bit of RNG for the run, because early game encounter RNG is very, very huge for the run. As, well, for the early game we'll need a lot of money to buy better equipment, to buy better spells. In the late game actually not so much, because resources become a lot more available and we rarely get any upgrades. That's a crazy horse, that's a good encounter. Already starting off strong, that is very nice, although that encounter also was very early. Which I'm not quite sure is a good thing or a bad thing right now, but I guess we'll figure out. Gigas Worm and Ogre, another amazing encounter. The Ogres are actually the best enemies we could ask for right now, as they have the highest money XP ratio of any monster that we can encounter in this part. And that is level 4 for everyone already, even though we aren't even at the third encounter. We will get one more encounter before the next city, which is usually the point where we want to... Oh boy, another Gigas Worm over there. Okay, so early game encounters, amazing. Sad thing is already the mages are out of casts right now. That was a lucky miss. Please don't kill anyone. In terms of RNG right now, this is just amazing. Actually, he still had one in him. Great. So we nearly even reached level 5. So money-wise, I should be looking very, very good. So we're gonna do a little bit of a detour. Usually some runners do this later. I like to do it already to go and buy 2 times the Temper spell, which is a spell that increases the attack power of character casted. Why am I going into the church? I don't have any dead characters. Muscle memory from bad practice rounds lately. Going into the inn before we're gonna face the pirates. The pirates have basically taken a hold of this town and, you know, terrorizing the citizens, and we're just gonna be like, I don't want that, so instead we're just gonna beat them all up, because beating them up is easier for us, especially since they are kinda weak. And after we beat them up, they're gonna just be like, oh no, we were so wrong, we are terribly sorry, we'll never do it again, and please take our pirate ship, it's all yours now. And with that, the world is gonna open up massively.
That is pretty funny. Do you have time for 2 quick things?
One moment. Then gladly, because all I wanted to say right now, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do go on a giant fetch quest that we're actually gonna do not backwards to forwards, because most people usually would find the end of the quest and backtrack and just find, oh, I need this, oh no, I need this to get this, and so on and so forth. And we'll start this quest in Elfheim, where we are gonna do some encounters on the sea on the way, where we're gonna buy our first AoE spell, which is gonna be great, and then we're just gonna farm some money before we, you know, get along and start getting everything for those fetch quests. We hope to see pirates, buccaneers, not pirates, because buccaneers are the best encounter we can find on the sea, and with that I give it to our lovely host.
Awesome. First of all, we did get a $10 donation earlier. That's amazing. Thank you so much to Manny2, who donated $10. No comment, but thank you so much as well. And I just want to, and secondly, I want to point out that the character you're playing with the light brown hair kind of looks like the guide in Terraria.
Most people usually just compare him to bards from FF5, but I can see that. Shag and Big Eyes. Big Eyes are a bit annoying. They can paralyze. Most runners would usually just take a little bit of extra time to actually target them manually, just to reduce the risk of that. I personally just like to auto-battle it. Also, if you haven't noticed, we have an auto-battle function. One of the good auto-battle functions, where it repeats the last action we used. And funnily enough, also as an added bonus, while the auto-battle is active, the game will progress like 30-ish% faster, if I remember correctly. So generally we just like to have it on as much as we can. Alright, we're out of spells for our Black Mages. We still have a little bit to go before we reach Elfheim, so we're gonna take a little detour into Cornelia again to go to the inn. Refill our spell slots. Spell slots, by the way, spells in this game work like they do in Dungeons & Dragons. We have spell slots. When they're empty, we either need to use items to fill them up, or take a long rest at the inn. And, ooh, Buccaneers. So Buccaneers, once again, are the best money experience we can get, period, right now. I think if I remember correctly, they're like for this 5 encounter, we're getting like 600 gil and 600 experience, or 300 experience. Which is like really insane for us right now. And also they have a small chance to drop a weapon. They have a small chance to drop a sword, a saber, which would be a weapon upgrade for our warrior if we could get one. So yeah, just generally just finding Buccaneers is great. Getting kind of worried about some of our HP values here, as we're still not able to heal anything. We're only in the next town going to be buying some potions. Alright, of course we're getting one more encounter before the city, which, I mean, is free money, so I shouldn't be complaining. Alright, so here's usually where people will divide with the speedrun. Some people will... Oh, come on, 1 experience off of level up. I hate when it happens. Some people will just go here, send it, depending on... just buy resources, depending on what money they have. I usually still like to grind out some extra money. So we'll see in the magic shop right now where we're going to be buying our AoE spell, which is this one for you. And we're actually pretty good on money, but for marathon safety I will go and do a little bit more of grinding. My preferred amount of money I'm still like 200 gil off of, so if we just do 1 round of encounters here, that should be fine. But not really with this encounter, so we're gonna do 1 extra. Because this encounter is very quickly. So we just bought a Fandara, which is our first AoE spell. And it is pretty strong at this point of the game, specifically. Which I'll demonstrate in the next encounter, which at this point, screw it, I'll take it. Oh god, an ambush as well. Alright, defend, 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 Fandara. We only have 2 slots for Fandara. We can only cast it twice before we have to refill right now, which is one of the reasons why I also like to do this. And yeah, as you can see, the entire encounter just wiped out. We'll do that 1 more time because we have 1 more spell slot, and then we're gonna move on with the game. And then some more good HP rolls. This is actually looking very, very good right now again. Alright, so we have our spell. I am only doing 1 Fandara. 2 Fandara is not worth at this point of time, really. And we're gonna go shopping now. The next few resources will have to carry us through for a while, so I will... Whoops, wrong shop. Wait. There's the shop. I'm not going to the Black Mage shop yet, that is way later. Alright, so we're gonna buy 1 potion, 1 antidote, 1 ether, 1 tent. Then buying another 4 antidotes and maximum of potions, which is 21, which is pretty good. Did the shopping in a way so the items will be sorted in the inventory correctly. And that I can guarantee a few things. So I personally like to buy an extra ether. Oops. Ether fills 1 spell slot of every level. Tent, very useful item, can be used on the overworld. Gives you a small animation and will heal 2 spell slots for every level for all characters, as well as all characters halve their HP. This is an ogre encounter. I'll gladly be taking that because money still is a resource that we'll worry about. And we have a few extra casts. The important bit is that at the end of the next dungeon, I still have one Fandara cast left for the boss. But that's also a reason why I like to buy the Ether here, in case the encounters are good and it's a lot of things that I want to fight, that I can take the fights, get the money, and then just Ether up before the boss. And yeah, welcome to Mars Cave, where we hope we don't run into too many scorpions, too many red wolves, where we hope that we won't be taking too much damage, even though that isn't really a concern right now, because because potion-wise we're looking very, very good. That was a good escape. And yeah, I just want to point out right now that we have one mage already sitting on 128 HP, which is insanely huge for this part of the game, which will make this next segment a lot simpler. As we're just making our way through, gonna go in here to grab a Phoenix down. It's always nice to have one around. That's some Grey Ooze. Those are amazing experience, so I'll gladly take my time to Fandara them. Which means we use 2 of our 3 Fandara slots. We still have 1 left. I will be using a few potions here, because I don't want anyone dying, because anyone dying would be bad. Grab a cottage here, which is a better tent that just fills... on usage fills the HP and magic slots to full. Can only be used on the overworld. Has a small animation that's a little bit annoying with it, and yeah. Can we please get out? Thank you. Alright, coming up to our first mini-boss, which is always a very scary point on a run. Because if they want, they can just kill us in one hit, so we're gonna take advantage of the quick save feature and hope for a preemptive. Which we didn't get. Okay, say hello to Biscuit Demons. They are incredibly strong, and they have a small chance to be slightly under-damaged by a Fandara. And you can see the amount of damage they do, and it is insane. And we killed them, luckily, though, and they didn't kill any one of us, which is basically best case scenario and everything we wanted, and we found the crown. Alright, now we just need to get back out of here, and I'm very happy that I bought as many potions as I have, and I'm very happy that I did the extra grinding, because that was a lot of damage. That was a very, very scary Pisco Demons fight. But we just went very lucky there in the end that it worked out with no one dying, with no one getting seriously injured. I was half expecting them to just, when they go wild, that they actually just, you know, went against all odds and went against the Fandara Black Mage in the first place. No Scorpions, please, thank you. Scorpions deal a ton of damage and have a good chance to poison us. That's why we bought the antidotes. Same with the green wolves here. When they attack, they have a small chance to poison anyone. Kind of interesting to see how many enemies I've already ran into that have poison without getting poisoned yet. Which is kind of interesting, kind of funny, kind of great. As we're moving out of Mars Cave again. Sadly, no escape spell. But, well, the dungeon isn't that long, so we're fine. Alright, out of Mars Cave. Healing up a little bit here, because I'm not really happy about that. Kind of feel like using the Ether in case we ran into another ogre, because as I said, ogres are great, they're great money, they're great experience, and I could still very much need some of them if I run into them, but for now I'll just keep it, because we're actually looking very good on money, on experience. This has been a pretty darn good run so far. Of course we couldn't get away. It's obviously just the moment that I praise the run, we get stuck in an encounter with too many enemies and that we can't suddenly run away from. Alright, still have a bit of way to go. 2 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. We'll probably get one more encounter before we reach. Actually, we don't. Ah, there we go. I knew the encounter rate felt in a way that let's go. Alright, so before we enter this dungeon, we're gonna be using the tent that we bought earlier. I like to buy a tent here to save my cottage for a little bit later to save a detour to the inn instead. And yeah, moving on to Western Keep, where we have a friendly-looking king here, who in reality is a demon hiding. And now when we brought his crown back, he's just be like, ha ha ha, I am Astos. I will kill you all. I am all-powerful now. So we just go and clap his cheeks. Astos, pretty interesting fight, though, however, and pretty scary fight. He has some low chances to use AoE spells as well. And if he uses them twice, then we're basically done for, and that's a very unfortunate death spell. So we're gonna start off by using the Temper spell a few times with the mages to power up our warriors as they try to hit him down. Haste is something that you don't like to see, but on the other hand, the fight is far enough on that this should be the end, or at least very close to the end. There we go. Lost the Black Mage, kind of sad, but it's not the end of the world. We still have that one Phoenix down out of the dungeon. Will mean I'll have to buy another one. The only character you're kind of happy about dying in this fight would be the Warrior. He's the only character that we don't really care about right now. But yeah, alright, so we need the Phoenix down here, and we need our potions. I just want to point out once again that I grinded out and bought 22 potions. Most people, when they get worse encounters than what I had, get less than 10 potions and have to make that work throughout the rest. So just saying here how that I was actually pretty unfortunate all over with the amount of damage I took. But in the end, it won't even matter. It's a marathon run, I don't really mind having to do all that extra. I mean, on the other hand, as I said, I personally still prefer to do the extra grinding so that I have the third Fandara to mess around with and do some extra stuff with, etc, etc. So, back in Alfheim, we're going to rest up and buy now our second Fandara so that both mages will be able to cast it. As well, with the level ups that we have by now, I should have 4 cast slots on each of the mages, which should make for a very pleasant journey around right now, but we'll have to see that. So yeah, whoops, that was the wrong movement. As we defeated Astos, he dropped a glass eye, which he stole off the witch Matoya, which is where we're heading now, as we're starting to get down. Okay, we don't have the 4th slot yet, that's fine. That means we have 6 Fandara casts right now, so we're gonna start counting. Because once we run out, we obviously want to refresh, because we want to fight as many things as we can. Because money, again, is a nice thing that we'll need a lot of in early game. Pichu, please don't fall asleep again. There you go. Come on. There you go. Because running out of spell slots is kind of sad, because as you can see, a single cast will kill everything that stands before us, and especially when it's a big group like this one. That is a lot of money and experience for us. In fact, that was the encounter that gives 420, 420. Nice. So we should be at 2 casts left, if I remember correctly right now. We're bit lower levels than I usually am, but that will be fine. So we should have 1 more cast left for the next encounter, and after the next encounter, then we'll be using the cottage that we found in Marsh Cave to replenish all our spell slots. So we will then have again 8 Fandaras to be casting around with. And yeah, Matoya, without her eye, can't see anything. We already defeated Astos, we have the eye, we give it to her, and we give it Jolt Tonic instead. The Jolt Tonic we now will be now bringing back all the way to Elfheim, where the journey started, and from there we'll be awakening the Elfin Prince, who has been cursed with a deep slumber. That's a crazy horse. It's rare to find one of those around here. And actually, I do still have one more, but I probably will not get another encounter before the water. I cannot use the cottage on the water, so even though we still had one spell slot left, I'm gonna use it right now. Which will allow us to... whoops. Can I please enter the ship? Which will allow us to just keep killing everything on our way without having to do the stop in the city for another... in visit right now. So yeah, once we reach back to Elfheim and wake up the Elfin Prince, he'll be thankful to us and reward us with a magic key. That magic key is there to open locked doors, which there are plenty of in this game, and we'll be using it to grab a few items that we'll be selling for money in a moment, as well as some TNT, because who doesn't love some good TNT? Which we'll be taking to the dwarves to blow up a sea passage just right in between everything. Because we're actually, as of right now, we are kind of locked into basically the entire area that we've been in. We couldn't do anything else except for the visiting the places where we've just been. And once we have the TNT and the dwarves blow up the passage, we'll basically unlock the entire rest of the world, with exception for a handful of areas, which we won't be able to visit until we get our airship, because it's a Final Fantasy game. You get your ship, then you get your airship. And that is a sub 30 Mystic Key. That is pretty good. Alright, so as I said, there are some... there is a door. This door would have been locked. There is some money behind there and a few items. And now we're heading back to the actual starting town, to Cornelia. It is always unfortunate when the mages don't get turns in between each other, so you have one mage that is already out of cast while the other hasn't even casted once. But what can you do? Nothing much about it. Of course we get ambushed. I could just sub the auto battle and make the second mage also defend, so the battles potentially go a little bit faster. However, the time menuing that around usually isn't worth the time save. And I'm pushing my luck here a little bit right now, but we're golden, we didn't get killed. I probably should have healed once or twice on the journey between, but I was just thinking, like, I am already so low on potions. I want to try to keep what I can right now. And well, I didn't get punished for it, so yay. So, cottage, a saber, a knife. The knife we'll sell, the cottage is nice, armor, tent, and there's our TNT. I mean nitro powder. That is also an item that is basically having a different name for every single version of this game. In some it is TNT, in some it's nitro powder. I think there's a third name as well. We're gonna optimize our warrior to equip the saber that we just got, as well as some better armor that we just picked up. Gonna go back to the inn to rest up, because this inn is quite cheap. And then it's shopping time, where we'll be shopping for the next part. Can you please get out of the way? For the next part of the game. So we'll first be selling basically everything that isn't equipped right now. The hammer goes away, the knife goes away. I will keep the cottage. You can't also sell the cottage, and we want around 35 potions. That is fine. We want Antidotes, I'm fine. I definitely want 2 gold needles. I already used my Phoenix Downs, so we're buying 3 Phoenix Downs, and we're spending the rest on Ethers, which is 27, makes 28. 28 is okay. It's not the best amount, but it's workable. Usually the average is around 20 to 24. Hey, more Buccaneers! They are worth a lot of money. And I'm only now noticing how far behind usually leveling I am with only taking 1 extra boat trip for Fandaras because the money was so good. I'm used to most runs. I'm used to going out there 2 or 3 times, so I'm having often enough a lot of points earlier. And obviously, then dying to Astos put the second mage a good bit behind right now, which is kind of sad.
Didn't we talk about exactly this when we talked about your run in advance, that you might be underleveled during your run?
Not at this point. It's more about the end game. I mean, we are a little bit underleveled right now, which only means spell slots, which, to be fair, is not really underleveled. It is more the standard. It's more that I'm mostly over-grinding the early game. Because, as I said, I want my certain money threshold, which usually grants me 1 or 2 extra levels for the early game. Which then spirals usually into me, you know, having all the nice stuff when it really matters. Which, at this point, it is, for my sake, it is underleveled, but for the average Final Fantasy 1 run, it's basically exactly where you want to be. The other thing also is, if we talk about HP rolls again, our mages are looking amazing. So most of the fighting we're doing is just for a single reason. The final boss. The final boss in this game is a bit of a stinker sometimes, and therefore we want to have as much HP as we can on our monk and on our mages. Preferably, in best case scenario, we want the monk to be around 400 and the mages somewhere between 250 to 300, so they can actually live a few hits from the final boss. If we get there in time, that will be nice, but just looking at our mages currently, sitting at 120-something and 130-something, they're already well on their way with a lot of good level ups early on, which is gonna help greatly. Grabbing all the stuff. This door also would have been locked, so once again, all hail to the Mystic Key. And so yeah, we just blew up, basically blew a hole between the continent. So we can now go back to our ship and move on to the rest of the game. Well, I'll probably have to end up running at least 1 encounter because I'm gonna run out of spells before the next city. I'm assuming at least. But yeah, this is where we actually will see if I'm underleveled or not. So the one mage being a little bit behind usually shouldn't be that much of a problem, but now we're actually coming to one of the points where we need a certain threshold in order for things to work out properly. Because in the next town we're gonna buy our next spell. We're gonna buy Firaga. And yes, you're right, we're not even we're only 35 minutes into the run and we're already buying a Ga spell, which is one of the strongest spells in the game. It was interesting to already see a Ra spell at like 15 minutes, now we're getting a Ga spell already. Alright, moving on to the weapon shop, where we're gonna sell the rest of our junk. Which we just picked up, which is the Mithril Spear, the Great Helm. We are at 8-8. We only need 8,000, so we're 800 ahead of Money Route, which is okay. Isn't quite enough to buy the extra armor, however. And we're gonna buy 2 Firagas. So they should be, right now, both mages should have enough levels, so they have at least 1 spell slot for Firaga. Which is where we want them to be right now. Let's double check that. He has still 0, and he as well. Okay. That do be kind of bad. And now we're getting paralyzed roll. Alright. Good. The next level should be it though. Alright, so the main issue is like we're getting into an area right now, we're coming up to Earth Cave, and in Earth Cave a lot of the enemies are resistant to thunder and or weak to fire. Which, you know, makes Firaga the better spell, not just because it's a Ga and therefore just stronger by default, but, you know, also with the weaknesses, etc, etc. Just makes for a nicer experience in there. But we'll see. We'll make it work. It's not the end of the world, we have enough Ethers, we will just rush through, we will kill enough things. Technically speaking, we only need what I should have now, where both mages have one slot, or at least the other, one should have one by now, the other's still 500 points away from the next level up. That should give it. That, for example, is a mob that I will flee now, because this is a mob that is resistant to thunder. I could kill it with 2 Firagas. I do not have 2 Firagas right now. So we'll run away from it. And the top mage is out of Thandaras. That speed issue I'm having here. Alright, 1 Ether for you. You have 1 slot Firaga by now. Now Ether management comes in. I will use Firaga here to use up the only Firaga slot, even though a Thandara will be enough. To afterwards then use an Ether, because an Ether heals 1 level for every slot. So it will heal, as of right now, the top mage has 1 Thandara out of 4 and 1 Firaga out of 1. So once he uses that 1 Firaga and I then use an Ether, it will heal 1 level in Firaga and 1 level in Thandara, giving us 2 extra spells for 1 Ether. Which is basically the entire thing about Ether management. You try to use as little as possible, as efficient as possible, healing as many spell slots as possible. Because Ethers are expensive and we just like to use them efficiently. I still do not have the second mage with Firaga, so we still run from the Hill Gigas because I do not want a 2-turn fight. That would be way too many spell slots. And we're in B3. B3 will be the fun part. Say hello to the Pisco Demons. Remember those were the tutorial bosses and they are still as strong. So we can kill him in 1 hit without low rolling. Of course, we low roll. Great. Alright, so we are on B3 of Earth Cave right now, which is a very important place because here there is a certain enemy that we can encounter, which I really, really hope we'll encounter, because I'll need one. Do you have your slot by now? Thank you. The cockatrices have the special proposition, or special property, that their normal attacks are able to petrify a character, and petrification is a great status effect. Because the way how petrification works in this game is your petrified characters still gain experience, your petrified characters can still be targeted by the enemy. However, when they get targeted by the enemy, it will always be a miss. So we want to see at least 1 encounter of cockatrices where we will then bait them to hit our warrior and our monk a bunch of times in order to get both of them petrified. And as I said at the start, the warrior at the very top has a 50% chance to get targeted by single target attacks. The monk in the second slot has a 25% chance to get targeted by single target attacks. So with basically 75% of all attacks getting directed at those, and those 2 basically becoming immortal and never having to heal them again, oh god, we'll just save a bunch of healing materials in the future. Which is why this is great, while they also passively still continue leveling up. Which we do not care really for the warrior, because once the warrior gets petrified, he will stay petrified for the rest of the game. We will not use him any longer. The monk, however, we will be heavily using in the end game. Quick save for safety. I do have my 2 casts, which should be fine. He should die in 2 Firagas, always. It is once just again that usually I'm a level or 2 higher. Actually, he has a 2nd slot already. He does not. So Frank has his 2nd Firaga slot. He is basically where I usually am, with Morgan still being a little bit behind due to dying on Astos, which is still completely fine. And now he's no longer behind. Alright, we will grab the item here, the Star Ruby, which we'll be using for another fetch quest so we can enter the deeper deeps of this place. 2 for you, 1 ether, 2 ether. Actually, do you have? No, you don't. Okay, that was a half-wasted ether, but that's fine. The Ochre jellies here are resistant to thunder. We will have to use a Firaga here in order to kill them in 1 cast. And we still haven't seen any cockatrices, which isn't the end of the world. Can very much become that though. So what we are gonna do now is we're gonna leave Earth Cave, grab an go around the world map to grab 1 more item. And once we get that item, we will come back to Earth Cave and we can go deeper into Earth Cave than we are right now to find our first of the 4 big bosses where we're gonna be fighting Lich. Lich is a fun character in itself. But yeah, so if we don't get a cockatrice on the way out anymore, it's not the end of the world since we will be returning. However, if we return and still don't get any, that is when we're gonna get started on slightly panicking. Because just the amount of healing items that we save by having the characters petrified is just so insane. That not having him petrified will just cause so many issues for us. Still no cockatrice. In the community, we also like to call them the jerk birds. And as you can see, the jerk birds are being jerks right now by just simply not showing up. Last encounter, and still no jerk birds. Alright, so we will have to deal with healing a bit more for a little while longer. As I'll now be using my last 2 ethers for here, as we're now having full, and I'm gonna try to not use any more ethers on our way out of here. So we're now at 8 Thandaras. This will only take 1, so we're at 7 casts. And hey, we finally got poisoned. Was wondering if we bought the antidotes for nothing in this run. That's a troll. He has a weakness to fire. I will need 2 Firagas to kill him. He hits pretty darn hard, which is why we don't want to give him a 3rd turn. Actually, 1 Firaga is enough, never mind. When did I misremember that one? That's a Minotaur. So many monsters. Bad encounters as well, because single enemy encounters just aren't that great. Because, you know, we still want money, we still want experience, so obviously encounters with more enemies in them usually give more of that. Can you... Did they literally all just hit the mages? Once again, 12.5% chance for each of the mages to get hit. Very interesting to see that. And the last encounter in here. Alrighty then, we're back on the world map. So for the next segment, notable mention, actually those are shadows, not gas. Notable mention is that here on the overworld we can find a monster called a Lesser Tiger. The Lesser Tigers have a small chance to drop an X potion, and if they do, that is huge for us, especially in a marathon run. because having extra full heal items for the final boss is insanely huge. We only pick up 2 over the run usually. Having 1 extra, as I said, especially in a marathon run, can make it or break it. Or, well, they can't really make it or break it, but they can change quite a lot with how the final boss works. And just having 1 extra heal can make the difference sometimes. So yeah, we just picked up the Star Ruby in the cave. We gave that to the Golem because he wouldn't leave. He was hungry and he is eating rubies for whatever reason. And there are some lesser tigers. Let's see if we can get a drop. No drop, but we still have a chance to see a few more of them. We're also down to a single cast of Firaga. So we're gonna do this encounter now. And after that we're gonna use a tent to heal 2 slots of every spell level for both our black mages, also heal half our HP. The HP part is secondary here though, we mainly just want this for the spellcast. So we're going back to 2 spell charges on Fandara on each of the mage and 2 spell charges of Firaga on each of the mages, giving us another 8 spells to cast around on our way back to the Earth Cave. Gonna say hello to the older man here, who gives us the Earth Rod, with which we can unseal the seal in the Earth Cave, which will then make us able to go deeper into it. Don't get stuck. Did you know that it's scientifically proven that it is faster to not get stuck than it is to get stuck? Took scientists a long time to actually prove that. That getting stuck is slower than not getting stuck. Alright, so on our way back, still hoping for some lesser tigers, because lesser tigers are great. We're out of Fandaras, we're switching to Firagas. Also in the background there is a second stat that is random, aside from the HP, which is the intelligence of our mages. That one also grows randomly with every level up. And around the next few levels we will hit a certain threshold, which number I'm currently not remembering actually. But it is a number, once you reach it, your magics just do a lot more damage. If we can reach that threshold before Lich on one of our mages, that would be huge. It is more common, however, to get these back a little after Lich. Scroll the notes, scroll the notes, scroll the notes, getting ready for the next shopping after the next boss. Alright, all our spells are used, that was a good 10. We're gonna use a cottage here, so we are, again, fully rested with HP and all our spell charges filled up. Which will, well, cut down on the amount of items we need to use to get these things up again. And we're going back through Earth Cave. More ogres! Ogres are great, ogres are fun. And they are still amazing money and experience, even at this point. Considering that they were some of the first enemies that we even encountered on the overworld. Can we please get our turns before all of the enemies do? Once again, proving why it's important to use antidotes. Poison in this game works basically the exact same way as in Pokemon. If you move on the overworld while you're poisoned, well, you take continuous damage. With a flashing green screen that no one likes, and that instead of with Pokemon where you get it like every few steps, you get it with literally every step. It is very not nice to watch. Get out of my way, bat. as we're once again approaching floor 3 of Earth Cavern. So from here till the boss, till Lich, we will once again be able to see cockatrices. We will be able to, or will hopefully finally be able to see some of them. You did not. And that's the risk with only oh god, I need even, okay. And that's the risk with only casting once instead of twice. Have to say, before today, I've never seen really having any issues with the sleep attack of the mummies, because it's very rare they even go before us. One more for you, one more for each of you. Done. Moving on. More ogres and ogre chiefs. I'm getting really unlucky today with turn orders so far in most battles. Did I pick up the money chest earlier? Yes. Pisco demons. And all 3 go before me. Fun times. Still no jerk birds though. We still have not seen the birds. Where are the birds? Has everybody heard the birds the word? We need those birds. Can we please get some Blizz RNG right now, chat? Because actually, if I don't get the birds here, I'm actually not sure what I'm supposed to do. Because I actually haven't had that case once yet. I know there are some scripted fights later in that have some cockatrices in them. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, now please petrify the warrior and the monk. Please don't miss them, just hit them. And also don't run away. There's 1, now we just hope that he does the same thing with the monk. Not with the black mages. I need my black mages not petrified, that is bad. That is why we bought the gold needles. Thank goodness that flea failed. Come on, please petrify the monk. There we go. Alrighty then. Problem solved. Crisis averted. Everything is fine. And obviously, when you ask for a few drops of spores or whatever, however that saying goes again. Alright, so back into where we fought the vampire. And yeah, here's a slap, that is the seal. Now we use the earth rod, now it's not sealed anymore, and now we can move on. Alright, we're out of Fandaras. That should be his last Fire Aura as well, so after that I can Eve her up efficiently again. How many do we still have? 14. That's pretty good, to be fair. You all should have your third. Yep, alright, that's good. Yep. Fandara. Pisco demons are still a bother, especially when 3 of them attack before us. Ooh! And that was a very high roll. It would appear, I would have to second check on that, it would appear that our top black mage has reached the intelligence threshold that I was talking about earlier. Because that Fandara looked very, very strong. And that one did as well. I think we did it, which is great. Which is very, very great, because going into our next boss fight, going into Lich, the main issue with him already starting is that, well, he has a lot of very, very dangerous attacks A lot of AoEs, a lot of things that can do a lot of damage very quickly. And so obviously we want to give him as few turns as possible. With both our mages now having 3 slots of Firaga. Once they cast these 3 slots, he will only have a sliver of health left usually. Which will then require 1 more cast of Fandara on top to kill him. With one of our mages actually having hit the... oh boy. Having hit the HP, having hit the intelligence threshold to now deal more damage, he will die with just the 3 turns of Firagas, which is very good. And this is our last floor of Earth Cave. Oh god. I think I just miscrolled my notes, whatever. Last encounter, Earth Elemental, weak to fire. That should be enough for a kill, right? Not quite. And I think I'm out of spells now. Yep. A little bit awkward. Shouldn't be that much of a problem. There we go. 1 more level up for each of them as well. Alright, heal to full. Heal that full, and quick save. So, say hello to Lich. No one likes Lich. We hope we don't see Fyra, Blizzara, or Fandara, which have all about a 10% chance for him to use them. We should be able, with our health, to live 1 of those casts, but as long as it does a second time, we're done for. Slow is very good, as we absolutely do not care about it. Hold on our stoned character doesn't do anything. That's a clean second turn. Moving into the 3rd turn, and seeing that our damage is actually very good, and we're not even needing the last cast. We had both mages on the HP threshold, on the intelligence threshold, which is pretty darn amazing. Happens very rarely that you even get 1 here, especially considering that they are a little lower, a little behind on where I am usually. So very clean Lich fight, and sub 1 as well, as I'm seeing. Which is basically where you want it. Alright, with Lich defeated, we're moving on. I have enough spells, I don't need to do anything other now. I have enough Fandaras to get back to town, without a doubt. Hoping still for some more Lesser Tigers. This is the last bit of way where we go, where we have a decent chance of seeing them. There is also a small chance to find them later, but there the chance is very significantly lower to encounter Lesser Tigers. Right, we're going to the armor shop, buying 2 silver armlets as well before we're leaving. Don't forget that. Also using the inn to heal everything back up to full, because we're already here. And we're going to our next big shopping segment, which is high time for us because this run has not been good to us. I'm almost out of potions, which is absolutely not where you want to be. Silver armlet, I said, right? Yes. Equip them on our monks, so they actually have more than 1 defense. Because, you know, having more than 1 defense is pretty nice, I'd say. As we're going to move on to Crescent Lake, where we're then going to do a little bit of an unorthodox thing. So, for the people who know Final Fantasy 1, the idea is basically you have 4 big bosses. You have Lich, you have Marliv, Carrie in some versions, you have Kraken, and you have Tiamat. In that order is the difficulty of them, and that order is how most players do them. Most players doesn't include speedrunners. We will skip Marlif for quite a while and move on from there with our next goal to go and immediately grab our airship and then do some preparation work for Kraken. We're gonna skip Marlif mainly just because the way to Marlif is very slow. It's a little bit of a labyrinth that you have to canoe through with a lot of encounters, which is all in all just annoying to deal with. So instead what we're gonna do, well, we're gonna progress the game, we're gonna get our airship, and then basically at the very end of the game, as the last thing we do before challenging the final boss, we'll fly over to Carrie and we'll just make quick work of her. That's also the other thing, as our main sources of damage right now are Thunder and Fire Magic, and Carrie kind of very resistant against both of them. It's the best thing we can do. Alright, Crescent Lake. Gonna start by going to the inn. Then we're going to the item shop, where I'll have to make sure that I keep 26,000 gil. I can buy as much as I want, but I have to stay at 26,000 leaving the shop. So we're gonna sell all our unused stuff, which actually reminds me, I forgot to unequip the warrior. As we won't be needing him anymore, we can now remove all his gear and then sell it. And then we're going to buy 40 high potions. We used one Phoenix Down more. We're gonna buy another one for safety. We still have some enough antidotes. We'll buy one extra tent. And then we're buying ether until we're down to 26k. That means we can buy 8,000 worth of ethers. That's a pretty decent amount of ethers. The reason why we... Come on, please. The reason why we wanted to save to stay over 26,000 is because we want to buy Fandaga twice, which gives us a new strongest spell, which will especially help because we're going into an area with a lot of water enemies right now. Talking to this guy who seems very ordinary in the circle of people for the canoe. I can tell you, when I played the game the first time, I did not find the canoe for a very long time, because I never would have expected that that guy out of all of them had the canoe. And yeah, with the canoe we can now traverse lighter bodies of water, and we're immediately running into a White Croc, which is very early, and I am not very happy about it. 2 slots Fandaga already. Okay. White Crocs, as you can see, hit pretty darn hard, as we have the upgrade on both our mages by now, though. We can make quick work of them in a single cast. Also, they're already close to 200 HP, Jesus. And yeah, the Crocs are pretty darn nice, because especially when you just can kill them in one hit, because they give 2,000 experience and 2,000 gil for every single one. And since we are able to kill them in a single Fandaga, just decent experience, decent money to go around. Right, more encounters, more fighting. We're heading into the Ice Cavern. Crocodile Hydra, there we need a Thundara and a Thundaga to kill the Hydras. I casted Firaga instead. And they killed Frank. My luck today just isn't there. Not just that they are constantly getting turns before me, but on top of that they are also attacking the black mages all day. Which is absolutely not what you want to see. And just to mention once more, for people who might not have been there, the game functions in a way that the character in the very top, in this case our warrior, has a 50% chance to get targeted by attacks. The monk, who is sitting in the second slot, has a 25% chance to get hit by a single target attack from an enemy. And the black mages each only have a 12.5% chance to get hit by single target attacks. So them getting hit a lot is quite unlucky.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is there a mod for the game that decreases the chances of them getting hit if people donate?
Actually, I don't know. We might want to try that.
Could work with crowd control.
It could work. Maybe it works.
Or increase the chances.
Only one way to find out. Alright, cottage here. Because I like to do Ice Cavern in a specific way. With the cottage now, we're all having everything filled up, and if the encounters aren't too terrible, I should be able to get out of here without using a single ether. Which will make us save a little of money in the next shop from not having to buy as many ethers. Also, for people who might be familiar with the Final Fantasy 1 speedrun but haven't seen the Pixel Remaster version yet, you might know this place very well because Ice Cave is kind of a notorious place with our lovely little Death Eye? I'm actually not 100% sure. I'm not anymore sure how it works. I'm really there. Forest encounter. Doesn't even say the name in the notes. Was it Death Eye? Could have been Floating Eye as well. I'm not sure. You probably know. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. In most other versions, it is the most prominent grinding spot of the game, as he counts as a mini-boss, and in most versions, you're actually able to respawn him over and over and over again. In this version, sadly, you can't. So we will not be grinding experience here on him. Also, did I just see 214 HP on the bottom mage? I just want to point out once again, we're about on the halfway point right now. We want them to be around 250 at the final boss. HP rolls are treating us very good today. On the other hand, how the monk is not even at 300 yet. He needs to be at 400 before we reach the final boss. Or should be at 400 before we reach the final boss. As closer to 400 he is on the final boss, the higher a chance to actually kill the final boss. So that isn't as good. But on the other hand, again, we're only halfway through. That's nice, Gigas. Switching to Firaga. Hoping for encounters now as well. That they're good, that I can just stay on Firaga. Because that's also what we're going to be using for the mini-boss. So I might not have to menu anymore. Blood Bones, weak to fire, good. Everything undead is weak to fire, as everyone knows. For the safety, grabbing extra money here. Most people don't even grab the 10,000 money, the 10,000 guild chest and the ice shield here. I am going to be grabbing both, because more money is nice, and having more backup, especially in a marathon, is nicer. Alright, what was your name? Evil Eye! Did you just silence my mage? I've never seen that happen before. Luckily, the status effect doesn't stay, though. At least I think it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. I think I've never been silenced in this game before. At least not during a speedrun. Guess we'll find out in a second. Okay, yeah, no, we're good. Alright, so why were we here? Why did we kill the Evil Eye? The Evil Eye was guarding the Levy Stone. The Levy Stone is basically the key to our brand new airship. Please don't ice. Okay, thank you. If the second one would have ice stormed there, that could have ended very poorly. Still not out of the blue yet, though. Okay, now we are. Mind Flayers, upgraded version of the Pisco Demon. Still don't really like Thunder. Ooh, and drop Phoenix Downs. Didn't know that one before, but hey, I'll take the extra Phoenix Down. That's 500 gil saved. Out of Fandagas on the bottom mate. If I remember correctly, that should be Lex the Raw on the top mate as well, though. Which shouldn't really matter as I am out of here. Ice Cave without any ethers. Tent, and we're moving back. So yeah, with our brand new airship keys in hand, we're obviously the first thing we're gonna do is gonna go and grab our airships. And I've moved the couch around too much again because Pikachu is tired again. Pichu is tired again. I'm sorry, Pichu. Ooh, they dropped the knife! Which is the weakest weapon in the game, so it's worthless. Alright, so moving back to our ship. That's a Neochu. I do not like Neochus because I can never remember if a Fandaga is enough to kill them. Give insane amount of experience though. Not good gil, but give insane experience. So they are always very welcome to see on my screen. Okay, we can tone it down, Neochu. I don't want to waste all my Fandagas on you right now. Which I think I actually just... the top one might actually still have one cast. Because if I now run into a White Croc, that would be kind of bad. Okay, it's not just another Ochu, Fandara, and we should be fine. Alright, so...
Do we have a quick moment?
Oh, sure.
You may notice the donation total has become a Schnapszahl again. We've reached $88.88 with a $7.22 donation by Aubergine Whopper. And the comment is just...
Still one of the soundtracks of all time. It's just getting annoying when you play a randomizer and it suddenly gets randomized into an area where you spend like half an hour and you hear it on loop. That's always the fun part about the victory fanfare. Alrighty then, that should be our last encounter before we get back to our airship. Which means we will now start our supply run, where we're going to go all the way back to Elfheim to buy haste for our black mages. I once again scrolled my notes with the wrong thing, which I'm not happy about. No, I don't know where they are. Ice Cave... Supply run. So yeah, we're gonna buy haste for our black mages. Haste, pretty common skill in the Final Fantasy universe, makes us faster. In this case, it allows to hit more. As single target attacks, work weirdly in this game. Alright, airship. So we're going back first, as I said, to Elfheim, fill up on new spells, go to the inn as well. Then we're going to go to the Dragon's Den. I'm just flying right past it, sure. And that not because we want to do our class ups, because doing our class ups is slow, because we would need a rat's tail in a dungeon that is technically optional. And the class up doesn't really change anything for us. Sure, we'd be a bit stronger, but not very noticeably. Especially for the time we'd have to spend to get through Mirage Tower. I actually haven't played this game so casually in so long, I don't even remember how the place was called. 2 haste. No, we're going to the Dragon Den because there is a room that is filled with money chests and an X potion, which will be one of the 2 full heals that we'll be having for the final boss. That we'll be needing for the final boss. That is still in the forest. Landing is hard. So yeah, there's our X potion, and here is a bunch of money. Before we now head to the waterfall cave. So what we're now gonna do is we're gonna start prepping for Kraken. We just finished our supply run basically, and we're now going to start getting everything for Kraken, as well as taking a small detour to grab some more money, because we want more money right now. Because more money is great, and we'll be actually needing a lot of money in a moment. So before we actually go and set up for Kraken, we'll be doing one more detour to the waterfall cave, in which we'll be finding an item that we'll be needing to go to Tiamat later, which will be the warp cube. Actually, let's play it safe. Double Fandaga, in case something happens. The warp cube, and just decided are a lot of nice items. For example, some ribbons, which are once again the most broken piece of equipment in this Final Fantasy game. Makes us immune to nearly all status effects, as well as halving all elemental damage, which will be huge for the upcoming game. And a few other items that we'll be able to sell for 20,000 gilded each. Nightmares were thunder. Remembering weaknesses is one heck of a thing in this game. Pyrolisk, we can stay on Thundara. I actually should have switched to Fandaga for the Nightmares to kill him in 1 spell, but whatever. Killing things in 2 spells still isn't the end of the world. It's just, you know, saving spell slots. Green Dragons. Those were Fyraga Fandaga, if I remember. Fairly rare encounter here. Yep, it works though. Our second Black Mage is slowly closing in to 200 HP. The Monk has actually gotten a few decent rolls now as well. Up to 328. HP-wise, the characters are looking great right now for the point of the game we're in. More is obviously always better, and we definitely would not complain if we'd get a lot more. But, you know, having basically the minimum requirement to survive 2 free hits on the final boss would also be nice. Bzz, beep. Wizard stuff, ribbon, money, 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 defender. We'll give the ribbon to the Black Mage that has lower HP right now. We will be getting 2 more ribbons later on. How many of these are gonna show up well, after I literally just said this encounter is fairly rare? I mean, I'm not complaining. Green Dragons, while annoying to kill, are amazing experience and money. As you just saw there, 5,000 gil just flew into my pocket. If you've paid attention to that. Mummies, which means Fyraga. Our warrior just hit 500 HP, which is actually insane as well. Just with the fact that we literally do not care about his HP. Alright, more of you. You don't have any Fandagas left. You still have one. Might be time for a few Ethers. Which, to be fair, considering what I still have before the next, yeah, let's give 2 Ethers to eat. Alright, done here. That is good. So, to continue our prep now that we have a source of money, we still need one important item before we are able to go into the Sea Shrine, which is where we'll be encountering Kraken. And that one thing is, well, air. Because, you know, when you go underwater, having air kind of important. So we're gonna try to find the Ox Yale. I never know how to respond to these guys. Which we'll be giving by a ferry, and the ferry is currently trapped in a jar that is kept by this trader, and we're at 80k. That's actually pretty good money. 3 giant, 2 speed. Money is looking really, really solid. As we're now moving on to the next city, where the fairy will jump out of the bottle, and then once we go visit her at the top part of the village, she will then proceed to give us the Ox Yale, which we'll need in a moment. Before that, we're gonna go and buy 2 Blizzagas. New strongest spell for us. Gonna be coming very, very handy in the next boss fight. We're gonna head into the inn and then into the armor shop, where we're gonna be buying 2 protector rings after selling everything we can sell, which in this case probably is just the claymore and the defender, the ice shield. Then the wizard staff that we picked up just now. We're gonna be buying 2 protect rings, and that's still 31k. That should be more than enough money for the last shop that we're having right now, where we're basically just gonna be filling up on everything. We're gonna buy a few Phoenix Downs. We're gonna try to max out Ethers and high potions. That might have actually been a few too many, but that shouldn't be the issue here, as I'm still having 4,000 left over. Yeah, considering I bought like 5,000, so I was about 10,000 out of where I like to be in money route here, so very good encounters, Parsley. Just once again saying green dragons dropped me 5,000 apiece, and I found like 4 of them, which is a very rare encounter in this cave, so that's probably why I'm ahead of money route. And yeah, by this point we're officially moving into the late game. Because now we are basically finished with everything. We have all the equipment, all the spells, all the everything. Well, we're gonna get 2 more ribbons. But, well, we're not gonna buy those, so... And they're not gonna make a huge impact on anything. Where am I? Why am I this high? Okay, there. Last chance for a Lesser Tiger. It is not here. As we're now moving on to the Sea Shrine. Okay. Let's actually check my notes. How well are they formed? Oh, actually they're formatted very well here. That's very funny for me to see. When I'm having them up, having my notes up, they are very weird on PC. They're usually very weirdly formatted by a point that I can barely read the maps of this area. However, this time it's actually perfectly there. Just a little bit out of order. Alright, Sea Shrine, we're gonna continue killing everything, and this time it's gonna be a little bit different, because this time we're just gonna be casting Blizzaga with one mage, Fundaga with the other. There are some encounters where one of these might be able to kill rather than the other one, and there is encounters, but every single encounter is guaranteed to die after both of these. We have 3 slots for Blizzaga, 4 for Fundaga. So what we're gonna do is we're literally just gonna count to 3 Blizzagas, then switch around that the Blizzaga mage is casting Fundaga and the Fundaga mage is casting Blizzaga. And once that other mages' 3 Blizzagas are gone, we're just going to use 3 Ethers in everyone, which makes, you know, this area very easy to manage spell-wise. And very easy to keep an overview over your spells. And that is the last real bit of grind push that we're going to do here. So yeah, now we're switching because the top mage used all his Blizzagas. Alright, so we have one objective here in Sea Shrine before we go to fight Kraken, because we first of all went up here to the 5th floor, where we're gonna get the Diamond Armlet right here, which we'll be equipping onto our Monk, because Monk will need armor soon. And then moving up left here to grab the Slab. Or in this version, the Rosetta Stone. Another item that has a different name in every single game, in every single version of the game. Which we'll be needing later to learn a new language, to get one more item that will lead us to Tiamat. Whoops. And yeah, now we're heading back to the entrance of the shrine, and then we're gonna take just a little detour to start going down. And I just heard the food delivery came. I gotta get it faster with running now. Alright, so. Yeah, on the way back down to Kraken now, we're literally just gonna be fighting for a while, looking at our HP values, which are still looking pretty darn good, hoping they can still look any better. And for the time being, there is not much to be telling about. So, George, you haven't had a lot of work. How about you take it for like 2-3 minutes?
Thank you. Yeah, we've raised $88.88 for Save the Children so far. And if you need a reason to add to that counter, no matter how much, I do want to provide one little fact that they've provided to us. Even just one single dollar can help Save the Children provide a single child with a way to feed them for a day. So you can keep a child from starving with just a $1 donation, which is awesome. You donate $10, you can keep 10 child from starving for a day. So if that's not a good reason to donate right now, I don't know what is. Also, you get to potentially upset the Pokemon naming bit war that's coming up very soon today.
Everything's fine, keep going. I'm not getting annoyed about these RNG rates right now. Keep going.
But yeah, for the Pokemon Scarlet Violet bit war, we have the OMG name winning right now at $5. And then we also have a bit more for the Risk of Rain 2 character coming up later today. Let me just check how that is currently standing. That is currently standing with Ganondorf winning at $5. And Vegeta right behind in $3.44. So, anyone's game, really.
We still have a bit of shrine to go. Feel free to keep going if you still have someone.
Oh, I can talk about Bit Wars and incentives all day. We also have a file name Bit War for the Celeste run that is coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m. And that has absolutely no donations to it, so you can choose the Celeste file name right now.
Alright, maybe to explain a little thing, because there is actually one more important detour that we're gonna do on the next floor. Because we're gonna grab a certain chest, actually on the next floor now. There is a certain chest that we make a huge detour for that is just absolutely completely out of the way. And that's for a good reason, because we're gonna be picking up a trap chest, a chest that has an encounter in it. And after the encounter, we'll be getting a Giant's Glove, which is, well, an armor piece for our warrior. But you might wonder, if I said multiple times that our warrior is never getting unpetrified, why would we need armor for him? Well, good thinking, and that is very, very good. Paid attention there, dear chat. The reason for that is because certain items in this game have other in-battle effects if you use them as an item. And the Giant's Glove is one of them. If you use a Giant's Glove, it will cast the spell Saber. Saber is a strengthened up version of the Temper spell that we already got earlier for the Black Mages, which is a spell that just increases the damage dealt by that character, the attack power of that character. So having an increased version of that doesn't require a mage to actually be casting it, kind of a big deal, and will be used a lot for basically every single boss after Kraken. Also, I'm really starting to get upset with how many times I'm getting hit here today. How's my spell counts? I lost count. You're at 2, you're at also 2, okay. Bottom mage is a little low on Fandagas, interesting. So he only has one more Fandaga. Hope that Blizzaga goes. Nope, Fandaga. Alright, we'll be switching now. Grabbing the top left chest here, which is the ribbon, which we'll be giving to our second Black Mage. Fandaga, Blizzaga. And that was another good HP up there on the bottom mage, if I saw correctly. He is up to 260, yep. Okay, HP-wise, basically everyone is where I roughly want them. Frankie could use with a little bit more, but technically speaking, he is fine. I will keep going, but just saying, if this would be a PB attempt right now, this probably would be the point where I'd start killing encounters and instead just start running away from them. Trying to save a little bit more money, because this is about the point where you want to be. I mean, the monk is at 394 HP, which is amazing. We have a mage on 260 and the other on 220, which is great. You know what? You use another Blizzaga. You use another Blizzaga. Counting spells is hard, especially counting to 3, especially considering that sometimes they only cast once, so they don't go both one down, so counting gets even harder and more precise. But we should only get 2 more encounters, so 1 more encounter after this, before we reach the boss. So let's heal up already, make sure I have enough Fandagas. That's fine. We'll only be using 1, so I have 4 and 3 casts left, so that'll be great. As we're moving into Kraken. Technically speaking, I would not even have to quick save here, because Kraken is a joke of a fiend. Kraken in this version has only 2 things he can do. He can either cast Ink, an AoE blindness attack that doesn't deal any damage, or he can normal attack. However, if he normal attacks, he will 100% kill my Black Mages if he hits them. However, he is more likely to hit one of the stone characters that will not take any damage because they're petrified. And he just does ink 3 times, and after 6 Fandagas, he is just going down. So that was a prime example of why Kraken is a pushover. And with that, we have the second crystal lit. And this is the point of the run now where the black mages start to slowly lose their value. Because our HP are all looking great, so we are... Technically, we could stop fighting at this point. Oh, hey, Lesser Tiger. That is a rare thing that I actually see another encounter here. Can we get a next potion? We cannot. Alright. That for sure was the last time we had a chance to see a saber-tooth tiger again. Alright, so we're now going back to Melman, where we have been a long time ago, to translate the Rosetta Stone that we just grabbed. Also to stop by the inn once more, which will actually be our final inn stay. And then we're gonna hope a little for energy. He is standing... Okay, now he's standing perfectly. Say hello to this dude who we give the Rosetta Stone now, and he's just like, we can, you know, learn that ancient language that no one's been talking for forever. With that, and then he just deciphers it in a second, and then just teaches it to us in 5 seconds by just jumping up and down. And now we can speak Lufenian, a completely dead language that no one speaks anymore, except for, you know, the people that still are alive on the far reaches of the North Continent that no one has seen or talked to in forever because they're basically unreachable. Which will have one more item that we will be needing to enter Mirage Tower / Sky Castle, the area in which we'll be fighting Tiamat. I knew I should have used Fundaga instead of Fire Auger here, whatever. He's dead. Free cast is not good, but he's dead. That's all that matters. That was a lot too far to the left. That's fine. More Winter Wolves. Let's hope Fire Auger goes off before Blue Saga. Stop with the ice storms. They're so annoying. Of course, Blue Saga goes first. Still killing though. Interesting. And getting a nice shield. A little bit late, we're not gonna sell that anymore for 5,000. Alright, let's see if we get Lufenian trolled. There is a bridge on the right that we need to go, and he is standing bad, but he is going the right way at least. There is a chance that that NPC that just was in front of that bridge could have been on the bridge, and it would have been taking forever to push him out of the way. Like so. Yeah. Bushes are hard to navigate around. Alright, so we just got the chime from the Lufenians. Thanks to us now being able to speak the language after a guy jumped in front of us up and down a few times. Which learning languages would be that easy, and I stretched once again too much that Pichu is falling asleep. Alright, so moving back to our airship, we're now heading off to go and face Tiamat in Mirage Tower / Sky Castle. Or Sky Fortress. Well, but nope, actually not getting another encounter here. Interesting. Alright, Mirage Tower. Don't go around, actually, remembering where the way is. Fundaga, sure. Should probably heal Frank. have to walk the circle. King mummies, more monsters everywhere. Getting more gold needles, even though I don't need... Actually, I mean, I only have a single gold needle. Having one spare can't hurt. So I'm actually quite happy that we just got that drop. On the next floor, there will be a blue dragon guarding the gate, which we'll be needing to kill with Blizzagas. And then we're done with Mirage Tower and using the warp cube that we got earlier to move up to the Sky Fortress. And chat, there is something that I want to tell you. I don't know if you've played the game before, I don't know if you've heard about the game before, but in the upcoming dungeon, there will be one screen in which we'll most likely be getting 2 encounters. And on that screen, we have a 1 in 64 chance to be greeted by the game's very own optional super boss, Warmech. It is very rare for him to show up due to his 1 in 64 chance. Even more so in marathon runs. I personally have not had a single speedrun where he ever showed his face. But, you know, if you want to troll me a little bit, or if you like to, you know, see me get wrecked by an ancient war machine, you might want to start blessing the RNG for that. Because to be fair, having a Warmech in a marathon run or a tournament run is always hilarious. Second floor, we'll be taking a detour to the right side. Ooh, Black Flans. Black Flans, very good experience. If you ever short on experience at this point of the run, Black Flans are your bestest friend in the world. Grab the third ribbon. Put it on our monk. Say hello to the stone golems, which will be a Fundaga Blizzaga. Earth Medusas, more Firagas. These are the last important moments for our Black Mages as main DPS. They've carried us far and very well through the game so far. Unfortunately, for all the bosses we have left, they are not really fit to help. I mean, technically we could go against Marlif with them by now, due to them having Blizzaga that should technically also be able to kill with the amount of casts I have on it. But we're not talking about that, because Marlif is supposed to be a boss that's fought way earlier. 2 up, 2 left, and then we'll be on the Bridge of Destiny, which is the one zone in this place where Warmech has a chance of showing up. A lot of elementals right now, a lot of enemies. I wouldn't mind getting another good HP up on Frank, to be fair, because after we're done with this area, we will not be fighting anything anymore except for the bosses, which will give next to no experience. So I would not mind having another good HP up on Frank. But yeah, welcome to the Bridge of Destiny. Healing up a little bit. So yeah, first encounter very early. So we will get a second one. Those are Neo 2s. We've already seen those before. Those are not Warmax. One more encounter probably before we reach here, and it's Darkfighters. No Warmech. The chances of now seeing him anymore are very, very slim because I don't think we have enough steps left for another encounter. So no Warmech today, and we're changing things around now. We're gonna Gold Needle the Monk. The Monk will now play a very important role for the rest of the run. And then I'm gonna custom sword and put the Giant's Glove to the top because I'll be needing them. Everyone is full HP, we'll do another quick save, and we start with Tiamat. The first boss after Lich that can be insanely dangerous. Lich didn't show it. Tiamat, however, will most likely show at least a little bit of their teeth. So we'll start. We use the Giant's Glove. We will cast Haste and Temper, because everything we will be doing from now on is just buff off the Monk as much as we can. Monks, special as they are in most Final Fantasies, work in a way that they deal more damage if they are unarmed. The scaling is a little bit cheap, and we'll be abusing it to heck for the next couple boss fights by just buffing him to heck. And then the most amount of damage we've seen dealt so far was mostly around 300 damage. Potion for safety. And then now we're doing 1,500. Immediately. And that was Tiamat. A little bit annoying, but it's kept down with the AoE attacks. The healing wasn't technically even needed, so I'll be taking that. And yeah, that is our third crystal shining again. Which means there is only a single one left. And that's the fire crystal. So we're gonna head to the volcano to fight Manip. So yeah, from now on we'll be going into an area that is very low level, so fighting there is absolutely not worth it anymore. And even if it technically still would be worth it in the final dungeon, I also will not be fighting anymore. From now on, we'll be fleeing from everything. We should be fine with our HP values. I can't believe that A, they're failing to escape here, and B, the characters that are getting hit again. I'm happy I bought so many potions. I'm happy I had the money to buy so many potions. So yeah, welcome to the volcano, welcome to Mount Gulk. Which has one special thing to it, which I already failed. And that is the lava floor. And unlike every single time you say, oh no, the floor is lava, we like to be on that as much as we can. Because as fun as it is, as long as we're standing on lava, the encounter rate will still go up, but we cannot actually encounter any enemies on the lava tiles. So as long as we're standing on lava, we'll never be getting encounters. Obviously, as you've seen with that room, there was a lot of ground in between the lava, and it is very hard to maneuver around. But the general idea is just to stay in the lava as long as possible to minimize the amount of encounters that we get. For obvious reasons. Actually, I don't need my notes anymore. It doesn't matter that my phone just turned off. Oops. Moving is hard. Also, I'm just seeing the warrior with 600 HP. What is this? That is a lot of HP for a character that doesn't need any. And after this encounter I'll heal. Because our characters are getting quite low, because obviously while staying on the lava is beneficial for not getting encounters, it still hurts us. We're only human after all. Also, I'm just noticing the timer and the fact that I'll definitely have to rewatch this run. For reference, my PB finishes in 3 minutes, and I actually felt the run went pretty well all over. All things considered. Potion up, we don't need ethers, we will quick save, because Manip can still annoy us. And the strategy is gonna be the same one as before. We're gonna use the Giant's Glove on the Monk, we're gonna cast Haste on the Monk, we're gonna cast Temper on the Monk. In the second turn, we're gonna change the Haste to another Temper, and after the second turn we start attacking. Should be hitting for around 2,500 points of damage, which should kill Manip in a single hit. Unless they do this. As I said, Manip can still get a bit annoying, but the damage is still enough. Alright. And with that, we are in endgame. We only have the final dungeon left. Which still means we still have 5 big bosses coming in. Going to annoy the heck out of me. Specifically the last one. Well, and one mini-boss that we don't really talk about because he's a pushover to Fire Ragas and he's gone. Which actually will be the last time we'll be using the Black Mages. Alright, so we're back to where it all began. Back to the Temple of Fiends, to the Chaos Shrine. Where we're gonna see level 1 monsters, and remembering that we didn't heal after the fight. So yeah, with all 4 crystals now shining, we have the power to break the seal here and start a time travel 1,000 years into the past, where we'll be finding the tutorial boss again, as well as all the fiends. And as I said again, if you're still low on HP, which we actually kinda are with 1 Black Mage, Black Flans, your bestest friends in this dungeon as well. They give insane amounts of experience, but we're not gonna do anything anymore. We're running from anything. Because we should be fine. Everything we did so far, with all the fights we did, everything of grinding, killing literally everything that came across us, all came down just because of the final boss. Everything we prepped for was just for the final boss. We would be able to get away with a lot less if it weren't for the final boss. Also, remembering your path is kind of important. Oh, come on, that was a preemptive. How did you not... How were you not able to run away there? So yeah, there's the Death Eye. I knew I remembered the name correctly. And now we're playing the loot that we got at the very start of the game. In other words, you could miss it, in this one you couldn't. Enjoy the music. That was nice and refreshing and gave me power. But before we go down those stairs, we're also gonna grab the chest on the right. which contains the elixir, which is our second full heal now. And once again, a preemptive where we couldn't get away. My luck today really is something. Alright, so on the next floor we're gonna start the themed floors, where the enemies will be element themed, with the first one that will be coming across being Lich again, so everything around that will be Earth Elemental. Because, yeah, we're having the Fiendry fights. We're gonna have to fight again against Lich, against Marlith, against Kraken, and finally against Tiamat. We'll have to fight all 4 of them over the next 4 floors of the temple. Can we please just get away? Thank you.
Do you think we have a moment?
Sure.
We did get another donation. We got a $9.88 donation from Zed, saying, "Can we reach $100 during HKN's run?" Yes, we can. We only need $1.24 for that. So we're there. We're almost there.
That definitely seems doable. All right. Off to the second Lich fight, which I am very afraid of right now because the first Lich fight was very, very tame and easy. The main difference is he has a higher likelihood in this one to do his AoE spells, and he learned a new one because he learned Flare, and Flare does about 250, if I remember correctly, to everyone, which is quite a lot. Another Giant's Glove, another Temper, another Temper. He also knows Kill, which we're immune to, thanks to the ribbons. Give us Death Immunity, which is a nice thing to have. Clean second turn, we attack, we defend with the rest. There's the Flare. This is an ouchie, but the second mage can even survive, and he double flares. Of course he double flares. There was a chance we could have lived that, but of course he had to flare the second time. Also, that I just remembered, forgot to change turn order, which isn't a huge deal for this fight, only for the ones afterwards. Saves a little bit of time though, with extra menuing. We put the Monk on the bottom here, mainly due to the fact that, well, he's less likely to get hit here on the next few fights with everything then. Which is obviously a nice boost of not having him getting hit, and also makes the turn order easier as I just have to input one spell change. There's the next flare. Actually, you know what? Give me a potion just in case. And he double flares again. Oh my lord. Okay, he is out for blood today. And that isn't even the hard fight yet. Up for a fun one, and turn order and change, whatever. Glove, haste, temper. Starting off nice again with attacking the warrior, which we absolutely love to see. As that does absolutely nothing, it's basically a free turn for us. Glove, temper, temper. Turn 2 going exactly as turn 1, which is very nice. Now the setup is complete, we just need 2 attacks. Attack on the Black Mage didn't really do anything. And there he finally goes down. After trolling quite a bit there. Alright, moving on to the Floor of Fire. Every single encounter we'll get here will be fire enemy themed. And at the end of it, we're gonna fight Marlif again. Marlif stayed about the same difficulty as with the first fight. Can still be very annoying, but rarely does it. As we're just gonna move through this floor. And then the Marlif fight is also just gonna be the exact same once again. 2 turns of buffing, donate to STC, which is a great idea, by the way, especially since we're so close to $100. Can we get out of here, please? Thank you. Why did they all get to have their turn? Quick save, because safety first. Hello, Marlif. We haste, we temper, we giant glove. Firaga we're absolutely fine with. Does next to no damage to us. Thanks to our ribbons halving all elemental damage. These spells aren't really that bad for us anymore. Our second round of buffing going well as Marlif normal attack the warrior. And once again, 2 more attacks and we're done. And ooh, that's an unfortunate. Okay, but we get lucky on the second one. Why are you not dead yet? Why you needed 3 attacks? Okay. That was a bit sketchy. As I said, she can annoy if donate to STC if our monk actually were to die. There is no recovering it. We could just try to revive and heal back up, but the amount of time it takes is absolutely just not worth it, and it's just more worth it. It's just worth it to reset instead. Especially since the last update actually gave us a return to main menu button that we can access in the pause menu, which we can still access during battle. Which is a nice quality of life, because otherwise before that, when we had a fight turn south all the time, the only thing we could do was either alt F4 the game and boot it back up, or hope they would finish us off quickly, which most bosses never did. They love to see us suffer, and after killing our monk just gave us like 10-15 turns without doing anything really. Up, down, and right, and then we're at Kraken. Kraken did become a little bit harder compared to his first fight, did learn a few new attacks. Still is, though, on the page of Marlif of can be annoying, rarely is, though. Haste, temper, Giant's Glove. Temper, Giant's Glove. There's a Fandara. Fandara, the spell that we literally got like 15 minutes into the run, just now added onto one of the endgame bosses. Which is kind of ironic still, I think. He's trying to ink again. We're immune to all status, so it doesn't work. Normal attack on the Black Mage takes it out, but afterwards Kraken, just easy enough as always. I'm just noticing, oh my, we're getting very close to estimate. What happened this run? I mean, outside of encounter RNG with terrible turn orders, etc, etc. This is actually gonna cut it close. Probably we are only gonna have like 1 or 2 attempts at Chaos.
You might be not so happy about crossing over the estimate, but I'm very happy we crossed over something else.
Oh my lord!
We have a $5 donation from Seed System saying, so that we have a 3-digit donation. Simon Fed, we have reached $100 for Save the Children, more specifically $103.76.
That's a pretty good amount for the first day already. But can we make it more?
Yes, we can.
Alright, Tiamat 2. Tiamat 2 actually is the only case of the boss actually getting weaker, if you believe it or not. The first Tiamat fight actually is a lot more dangerous as they have a lot more high power attack. However, the odds of them getting used now have been halved, as Tiamat has been given a lot of low power attacks. Tiamat can still annoy us, and she definitely has still the capabilities of killing us if she wants to. However, it is most likely, it is still safe to say that the fight is easier, and that was a too late turning of auto battle. So we're getting a third turn of buffing, which is something that we rarely want to see. Because that always also means that it gives the boss another chance to do something. Healing for the safety there, no more attacks, and that should kill. No, not yet. Okay, next one though, that is not a bad attack, and this one kills though. Oh, great. Tiamat also down, and that means we're only one random encounter away from chaos. And I just want to point out of my practice runs, this actually has been the second worst at this point. We're just saying a lot about the runs I've been having. Alright, so we will get one more encounter on this floor. Which is also a very annoying encounter. 4, 5, 6, 7. All 7 got their turn before we got away. That's probably why I'm not really on here, because that happened a lot. Alright, so healing up to full, everyone. Getting our quick save. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I will need some bless RNGs. Because, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Chaos. We don't beat Chaos in the speedrun. He lets us. And that is very much the case for this one. Chaos has a huge repertoire on attacks that can just absolutely murder us when he feels like it. And a smaller array of attacks that have aren't as deadly. So we're starting out with Giant's Tonics on our Monk, which will increase his max HP by 200 for everyone that we'll be using. We'll be using a total of 3 of them to let him hit the HP maximum. Gonna hit Haste here, and then we're gonna use the X Potion. Hope for turn order. Turn order good. We did get the tonic before. We have our buffs up. We will be using a speed drink and a temper as we continue buffing up. This will most likely take out both our mages, and now it's just a question if we can buff up enough before he takes us down. The flare is very, very much not liked for that one because we will need a lot of buffs, and the normal attack is even less loved to be seen. This is most likely gonna be a death here. Actually, the Kuraja there is the safe of us because he hasn't actually taken any damage, so that's here. Another flare. We're really getting very unlucky here. We really want to see some normal attacks on the warrior here right now. That's basically the only thing we want to see for the next couple turns. And I'm gonna do one more, and then we're gonna start checking our damage. We want to hit around 3,000 to 4,000 if we can. He's being very nice right now, and we are there. Time is coming up. We might be able to hit it if he lets us. That's 3 hits. We need 2 more hits. 1 more hit. He normal attacks. We live, and that he is still alive, and he dies. And that is Chaos. We'll try one more time. After that, we mercy kill. So we literally, that was the worst start of Chaos you could have imagined. Then he wanted the most tame he wanted, and in the end just said, you know what, no, screw you. And that is how Chaos generally can be, and that's how Chaos generally goes. No one likes Chaos. In this version, it is the worst Chaos of all Final Fantasy 1 versions. In the others, you could at least kind of predict him. Here, it is literally just try to do your thing and hope he lets you. Let's see what we get turn 1. Blizzara turn 1 is pretty much optimal case. Because of that, I will not heal this turn. I will tonic, haste, and glove. Normal attack on the warrior, did not get punished for it. Very good. The mage is still having a lot of HP. We're going with a speed drink, with the X potion, and with more Giant's Glove for buffs. A second Blizzara. Really good start here. Both mages still alive, as I'm basically having most buffs on that I want. So now it is just a question of how long will they keep staying alive so we can buff up faster. There is a Blizzaga that will probably take out one of them, but one of them still up and standing. Normal attack on the warrior. We love to see it. And I'm gonna give it one more turn, and after that I'm gonna start attacking. He's hasting himself. Now this becomes a little bit tricky, because now his normal attacks will deal up to 800 points of damage, if he feels like it. You know what? Throw in a high potion because I can. Earthquake we're immune to, and we're at 5,000 damage. We're actually very highly buffed here. This is very good. That's the second hit. We will only need 2 more hits of these power. There the normal attack comes in. That is very much what we not want to see, but he's 1 hit away. We're gonna try to get the elixir off. Hope that he doesn't go first with anything that kills us. Cyclone might get close, and that's death. And with that, we mercy kill the run. The party was defeated. Chaos didn't want us. We're overestimated already. We're not gonna try anymore. We were so close. 2 attempts, and both times 1 hit before, you was just no. Welcome to Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster speedrunning. It's something that we all have to deal with. It's something that we all fear. But yeah, that's it for me. Chaos wins the run. I just want to give a quick shout out to the F1 community across all games. Amazing community, Discord for our, we have a Discord if you want to co-op up. If you might want to give this a chance, because to be fair, the game is pretty fun. We also now have a booster percent category that I am meaning to be to look into soon. So maybe follow me if you're interested in that, if you like that. And then, yeah, save the children. We still have a weekend ahead of us. And with that, I'll give it back to the host and say my goodbyes.